Since the early years of the emergence of Islam in Mecca, the Muslims were persecuted and were experiencing many difficulties. Until 5 years after Muhammad became the Prophet of God, he ordered 80 of the Muslims to secretly immigrate to Abyssinia in order to avoid prosecution from polytheists. Najashi, the king of Abyssinia, was famous for his justice and equity, and the Muslims hoped to find a more favorable situation there. The Muslims' presence in Abyssinia was not only a good opportunity to present Islam outside of the Arab Peninsula, but it could also guarantee the survival of Islam if the immigrants could safely leave Mecca and relocate to Abyssinia. When the polytheists became aware of the Muslims' immigration, they became furious and tried to force them to return, but the Muslims made it out of Mecca safely. Then the polytheists sent a delegation with precious and priceless gifts to Najashi's palace. At first, this delegation tried to stop the Muslims, without Najashi's awareness, by bribing the ministers and other officials around the king, but they did not succeed, and Najashi became aware of the polytheists' maneuvers. These people chose my land among all other lands, Abyssinia's king told the polytheists. I should first see what these Muslims have to say and learn why they left their country. Then he ordered his advisors to bring the Muslims to his palace. When they arrived, he asked them the reason for their immigration and about the Prophet and their new religion. Abi Talib stood up as the representative of the immigrants and said, "Your Highness, we people of Mecca used to be ignorant. We worshipped idols, we ate carrion, we fought with our neighbors, we oppressed the weak and would not allow them any rights. Then God sent a prophet among us, a man famous for his honesty and trustworthiness. He called us to worship the one God and let go of the stone and the wooden idols. He invited us to be honest and trusting and to practice good behavior and piety. He told us not to take the orphans' positions and to abandon adultery. We put our trust in him and followed him, but our tribe urged us to leave our new religion and return to our old ways. They troubled us so much that we could not tolerate their attacks. Now we have taken refuge in your country according to our prophet's order, and we have high hopes that you will not oppress us." Najashi said, "Read to me some of the verses your prophet read to you." Jafar recited the first 30 verses of one of the chapters in the Quran, Maryam. The verses were about Virgin Mary and how she gave birth to Jesus Christ. Najashi and other Christians around him were overwhelmed by what they were hearing and broke into tears. Then Najashi faced the polytheists and said that he would never give the Muslims over to them. The polytheists had no choice but to return to Mecca angry and defeated.